that's my third site as well, because I wanted to head down the east coast into England and tell you about Rudston, the Rudston Monolith, which is another of Mary Ann Ockerter's sites. I think it's site 13 in her guide. I'm just going to hop to it so I can remind myself. But yeah, so Rudston is Britain's largest surviving monolith, and it's probably prehistoric, but it sits right next to a Norman church in a churchyard. And since the 18th century, it's been capped by given a little lead cap to try and the church thought, oh, we want to keep our massive stone protected from the elements. But it's a prehistoric stone that's been raised at least 3,500 years. It's called the Rudston. The whole settlement is named after the stone, because in Old English it means the cross stone, and we think it may have originally been when Christians got there, they put a cross on top of it.
It's huge.
Looks slightly less phallic, and it became it was basically a pre-Christian monument that's become Christianized at some point, and it's so famous and so big that everyone just calls it the cross stone. It may have had a cross painted on it rather than on top of it, but and it sits right in the churchyard now, so it looks
just in the middle of a cemetery.
Yeah. So and what's really cool about it is it probably was erected like the Clavicairns, late Neolithic, early Bronze Age, and the landscape around it is packed full of prehistoric monuments, including cursus monuments, henges, round barrows. But this one, it looks like long before the church was there, this was already a really important location at the hub of all of these ceremonial routes of people living in the Yorkshire wolds, and coming together seasonally. And at some, why not, if you're Christianizing this area, why not, stick your church right there, right next to
exactly, right next to this famous spot that people's going to come see.
And it symbolises what you were actually talking about, John, when you were saying about in the early Middle Ages, Christians were not like iconoclasts ripping everything down. The TV show The Last Kingdom, which the film has Athelstan, King of the Saxons, in the early 10th century, ripping down these ancient monuments where they're blaspheming against our Lord. And all this is all Victorian nonsense. Christians weren't doing that. Most Christians were going, well, if you're worshipping around that big massive stone, why don't we just do the same thing, and I'll just put a little cross beside it, and we'll just keep going. And that's the way you get people on board. The missionaries that did otherwise don't last very long, and we certainly have some examples of those from the early Middle Ages, where missionaries just come in, rock in with their henchmen, kill a few people, and say, you're going to do it the Christian way now. And do you know what? Surprise, surprise! They're usually ambushed in the next few months. Oh look, he accidentally fell on that spear. Oh, never mind. You've got to be. You've got to. So most of these sites, they speak of that complex blending that we were talking about. So that's my third favourite site, Rudston.
It's over 25 feet tall, which is 7.6 meters.
7.6 meters, yeah.
Yeah, 7.6 meters, and it's currently, they capped. Let's see, it says in 1773 a stone cap was placed on the top.
Yeah, that's the little Ned one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, eh?
So it looks like they've been trying, and it says even possible dinosaur footprints are in the area. Is that?
I don't know about the relationship with that to it, but there's a lot of.
I mean, I don't think it would have anything to do with the thing, but just the area.
It's a great area. I mean, if anyone's visiting the UK, and York is a very well-known tourist destination, but if you can hire a car or get out into the Yorkshire wolds, some amazing archaeological sites. And because I'm restricted to 12, I can't tell you about any of the others. We've got to head south even further. But I just
keep going south.
Yorkshire would not forgive me if I didn't give one site from Yorkshire in my top 12.
That's true.
My wife, for example. They're all a bunch of. They want to be independent of the rest of.
Now you say Yorkshire. That's how you say it. Yorkshire. Yeah, Yorkshire. So we would say Yorkshire.
Yeah. It's a sort of standard British. You share. Particularly in the southwest, it's shire. But I say I'm from Berkshire. But if you spoke with a Berkshire accent, it'd be Berkshire.
It sounds more. It's kind of like a southern accent for us.
Yeah.
People up north will say Louisville or Louisville, or when us in the south, it's Louisville.
Well, absolutely. Dialects in the UK are not only so varied, but people argue all the time about them, and I forget them all the time. So people mock me. Everyone's trying their best, but someone's always there to correct you. Sometimes nicely, sometimes not, and my reaction varies depending on how courteous they are. But at the end of the day, these place names will evolve. But I call it Yorkshire.
I love it, and that church, the whole scenery is just unbelievable from what I'm seeing. And I'll throw some up on the screen here so that everybody else can. But
I hope so. It's a wonderful site.
that would not be a wasted trip.
And there's so many other beautiful churches and prehistoric monuments in the area. It's a fantastic part of Yorkshire. It's really wonderful. It's all chalk uplands, you see. It's very different from the Yorkshire moors. It's very different from other parts of Yorkshire. So South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, all very different landscapes.